Making a lentil flatbread today. Now this is probably the easiest of all the breads you can make. It's 2 ingredients: lentils, pinch of salt, water. So I suppose counting the water, 3 ingredients. We're going to cook the little flatbread. Actually, I'm going to use these like little biscuits, like little dips, because what I'm going to make with them is using one of the best sources of omega-3, good quality omega-3, which is mackerel and smoked mackerel. It's sometimes hard to get nice, good quality fresh mackerel depending where you are. But of all of the choices, be tinned and so on, smoking fish tends to preserve those omega-3 fatty acids because of the low temperatures which preserve that. So I'm going to use just you can get all sorts of different smoked mackerel, and it doesn't matter if you want to use the peri-peri one or a peppered one or whatever else. It's just a very, very simple, good thing to get into your diet here, and it's a lovely little snacky kind of food. So instead of using, say, tortillas to eat a kind of a cheesy nacho dip or something which is extremely processed and highly inflammatory, let's try and make it with a nice red lentil kind of a flatbread and a nice smoked salmon, or excuse me, a smoked mackerel, a little kind of a mousse, which I'm going to use with a low fat Greek yogurt. Going to make it nice and gingery, and I'm going to use some fennel as well on my one, but any herb will do. It's play around with this one. There's, you know, it's just a lovely, simple little one to do. So first of all, lentils, red lentils. These are the ones that you sometimes see in the supermarkets and you think, what am I going to do with those things? Hippie food. But they're great. They're really useful, very high protein. I've soaked them at least about 3 to 5 hours overnight even, and just cover them in a little bit of water till they're nice and softened up. Then drain off the water until they're just covered with water, just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is just get a spoon, and I'm going to pop them into my liquidizer. This is all that's to this batter. You do want a good high-speed liquidizer as opposed to a food processor, because you want to get this one nice and smooth. So these need soaking, red lentils, drop water. What I've used is about a cup, easiest measurement. You don't have to be too precise with this. And in the cup there, I'm just going to add a drop more water, and I just want the water about even with the lentils and no more. And if you're not sure, use less water, don't use more, because it's easy to add a little bit of water in, hard to take it out. So pop that in, and that's all it took. And I have this lovely smooth batter. I might just give that another little bit of blitz in a while, and that's your flatbread base. Basically kind of like a lentil pancake mix. Should give that a second more. And put a pinch of salt in there as well. That's all it needs, nothing else. And you could make this batter a little bit in advance and be able to use it anytime. You know, it'll last a few days in the fridge, and just blend it up like that, and away you go. Very, very simple. And you should have a light pouring kind of texture. You kind of know yourself. Think a nice pancake batter. So that can be put aside. And the next thing is to make your little smoked salmon or smoked mackerel mousse with the Greek yogurt, and I'll make that next.
Now, to make our smoked salmon mousse, all I'm going to do is take my smoked salmon. I'm using a kind of a peri-peri smoked salmon here, or smoked mackerel, excuse me. And I'm going to just crush it all up first. Just going to break it all up with a fork, or a knife, or a spoon, doesn't really matter. When it's kind of broken up, I'm going to add in my ginger, my scallions or spring onions, and my fennel. I'm going to mix all those together. Plenty of herbs. I like the ginger again. From an anti-inflammatory point of view, it just gives that extra boom. Plus, it's a lovely flavour in this. Then I'm going to give a squeeze of lemon. Half a lemon, make it nice and citrusy. And then I'm going to finally just finish with my low-fat Greek yogurt. About 120 grams. So you have this lovely kind of a smoked mackerel pate, lovely and light, lots of flavour. No need for salt because smoked salmon or any smoked fish, smoked mackerel, I keep calling it salmon, but any smoked fish is already salted, so it tends to be fairly high in salt anyway. So this dish doesn't require a lot of salt in addition to that. And that's it. Really simple little smoked mackerel mousse or pate. And to cook these little lentil flatbreads, very similar to a pancake, good non-stick pan. I'm going to use just a little amount of coconut oil. Again, it's the one I'd always recommend for frying. Finish with olive oil, but you do want a saturated oil for cooking with, and the only good saturated oil that I can think of that's readily available is the coconut oil. So just a little spike of that, not much. And then into your pan, when it just heats up a little piece, you put a couple of spoonfuls of our batter and just spread it out a little bit into kind of a nice pancake type shape. And then cook as you might any pancake. What's great about this is it's a very, very high protein and, you know, a very, very good choice. You just get the lentil type chips. They don't tend to soak in the oils either, and, you know, very lean, very high protein. And a great alternative for kind of a simple little snack food. So you can see the lentils hold together very, very well. Not much to go wrong with this. Might want to just adjust your heat if it gets a little bit on the hot side. Just because it will take a little bit longer than your normal traditional wheat batters to cook. As you can see, it holds together nicely. I just let it cook away there until it kind of becomes dry on one side. Really, really nice little flatbread this. Like, again, it's one of the easiest ones you'll ever make. And it's, again, that ingredient, red lentils, that everybody has been looking at and kind of thinking, what will I do with those? Because it is one of those ingredients in my view anyway. And you can do this with it. A red lentil flatbread served with the smoked mackerel mousse. And again, you could use anything. You could just use this as your traditional vegetable wrap, you know, or anything else like that. And basically, just a really, really nice, and just using this to pick up with the, using this to then use as a carrier for your smoked mackerel. So you're getting a real hit of proteins, of omega-3 fatty acids, and again, as I said, smoked fish contains some of the best omega-3 fatty acids because there's not, the smoking process is generally done under a much lower temperature. So just cook those a little bit. And as I might any other pancake, I can just flip this. As you can see, this one is pretty easy. Like they hold together fantastically as a little flatbread. I'm just going to pop that on the plate and then continue and cook another couple of them as well. I'm just cooking away my second one here and making this one a little bit bigger. And again, this is a great little recipe to have and gets you away from the old gluten, you know, if you want a very, very simple little bread. And there you have another one there. Again, absolutely lovely. And again, they hold together great. You know, and exceptionally high protein. And to serve this little dish, I've just put my mackerel into a little bowl. I've cut my little pancakes into little quarters, little triangles, and just simply pop them around the dish. And maybe a teaspoon just to dip into.
and served just like that. High protein, high omega-3 snack, which is our lunch dish, or however you choose to eat it yourself, which is lovely, absolutely perfect for just a nice little treat every now and again.